welcome to the CultCast, the best-ish Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Leander Caney. Joining me today is D. Griffin Jones. Hey, welcome, Griffin.
Good evening.
That always throws me off, Griffin. And also, we have Lewis Wallace.
Good morning.
Exactly, there you go. Well, we have a pretty exciting show to do today. We are waiting for our iPhones, which are going to be arriving, I guess, today by the time the show comes out.
Woohoo!
I know, yeah. I'm pretty excited for these ones. For the more excited I think than normal.
Yeah, I got cosmic orange trepidation.
Ooh.
Oh, I can't wait to find out if that lives up to your expectations.
You know, I got to say that the pictures I've been seeing of people using them, in reviews and stuff, it actually looks like it might be orange.
Well, I've seen equal people saying it looks really orange and it doesn't look orange. Like it almost seems to be 1-to-1.
People see colors differently, right? But interesting.
And not a lot of people have got their hands on them yet either. I mean, they're basing this totally on the reviews and the stuff that's been published so far. But yeah, very curious to see if that lives up to your expectations. And then of course you're going to slap it right in a case, so you'll never see the orange ever again. In fact, I tried to think. I couldn't even remember what color my phone was. I had to actually take the case off to look at it.
I hedged my bets.
Oh.
Orange case as well.
Orange silicone case. We'll see. I don't know. Might look stupid on an orange phone. We'll see.
Yeah, that's pretty bold. I can't wait to see that.
Apple says that they made the buttons on the new silicone cases even nicer. Once again, so have you clicked them yet or not really? It's still in the box.
Haven't put it in the phone yet, so don't have the phone. But yeah, I don't know. Can't tell. I love the way I've been using a silicone case for a while now, an Apple one, and I really like it. And
yeah, me too.
Freaking bright yellow is what it is.
It does that orange color. I mean, that's totally like nautical, isn't it? And sort of it reminds me of the 80s sport Walkman.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Although those are yellow, but
yeah, very bright.
Very cool. Well, we're going to talk this week about the new features in iOS, watchOS, iPadOS, and also macOS, macOS 26. We have a surprise feature coming to the all-new MacBook Pro. This one's a crazy, crazy story. How to fix a major problem in macOS Tahoe, and whether or not it is time to upgrade your phone, your iPhone. Before we get into the show, I'd like to thank this week's sponsor, which is OpenCase. OpenCase is this clever iPhone case that's built that has a big open space on the back of the case. So it's kind of like a mix between a regular case and a bumper. And Lewis, you have one. Why don't you, let's have a quick look at this.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. Kind of, oddly enough, it kind of reminds me of the iPhone 17 Pro design. It's got the big big cutout is like about as big as the white glass panel on the back of those.
That's right, exactly. And the cutout is for MagSafe accessories. It's to make it easier and better to put your MagSafe accessories onto the back of the phone. It doesn't cover them up. And this has several advantages. One, it stops them sliding around or shearing off when they're in your pocket. If you have a MagSafe wallet, it's not going to come off when you put it in your back pocket. But it's also better for charging too. So Apple recommends that when you put your phone on a MagSafe charger, there shouldn't be anything between the phone and the charger itself, and this problem solves that. And it comes with some accessories. I think you have a couple, right?
I don't think it necessarily comes with it. I think they offer it. I don't know about that, but they produce accessories, including a wallet, which you just slap it. All these things in there, they fit quite nicely. Fit it into the back. There's this is funny, a filler, just in case you don't want to have the back of your phone showing, and a pop socket. I never used a pop socket, but I know some people love them.
Yeah. Oh my God, my mum loves her pop socket. So does my daughter. And the other advantage as well is that because of the cutout on the back, they don't stick out so much. Because they go right against the back of the phone. It makes it a little bit slimmer. So, this is the OpenCase. It's thinner, it's lighter, it's perfect for the iPhone 17. If you're interested, then please go to theopencase.com, and use the promo code CultCast for 10% off. Once again, that's theopencase.com, and promo code is CultCast for 10% off. All right, very cool. So Lewis, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard in Rumorland, Apple Rumorland. The new MacBook Pro might have a big change coming next year.
Yeah, they said it would never happen, but the first OLED MacBook Pro could add a touchscreen.
My God.
This comes,
what is going on?
And this isn't just, like some random rumor from, dark corner of the internet. This comes from one of our, most reliable analysts, Ming-Chi Kuo from TF International Securities. This is what he wrote on X. He wrote, "This shift appears to reflect Apple's long-term observation of iPad user behavior, indicating that in certain scenarios, touch controls can enhance both productivity and the overall user experience." So there. Supposedly Samsung is going to be supplying Apple with these touchscreen OLED panels. It doesn't say in this notes where it's going to be.
Yeah, I think it was coming out next year, right? I like next fall. Wouldn't that be the best? Or, I'm sorry, WWDC.
If it's the M6 model, I don't know if actually don't remember if he specified it's the M5 or the M6 one, but I think previous rumors indicated that the M5 is going to be a simple spec bump. That's the one that we'll probably expect early next year, and the M6 one, fall of 26, spring of 27, would be the M6 MacBook Pro, and that would be this model with the redesigned touchscreen. So still a while to go, at least a year.
Yeah, that kind of threw me for a loop there. Yeah, so that's what he says. He says slated for mass production in late 2026.
And the story that we've always been told, I don't know if it's like a Steve Jobs quote or whatever, but it's always like, this was been after Steve Jobs. It was probably like a Craig Federighi quote, like, we tested this and we find that after half an hour your arms get too tired, and it's just we're never going to do it because it's not a good ergonomic thing. But I mean, the thing is, Apple has been making kind of touchscreen laptops for the last 5 years, the iPad Pro with the keyboard case. And the thing is, when you have a touchscreen, it's not like you have to use the touchscreen all the time. You'll use what's more comfortable for you. A MacBook, you always have the trackpad and keyboard right below it that you can use instead. The touchscreen is just useful for, I'm just going to reach over and swipe that thing. Or, this happens all the time. You're showing somebody something on your screen and they don't want to reach down in front of you and touch your touchpad. They just want to touch the screen and scroll or move this or tap that.
Have you ever used aside from an iPad, have you ever used a touchscreen laptop?
I've used them occasionally for work. I had to, deal with PC laptops, unfortunately, and some of them had touchscreens.
I had one a long time ago, and frankly, it's handy at times to be able to just touch a screen like that. And I still find myself actually doing that sometimes with my laptop when I'm actually using it as a laptop.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I wonder if they noticed that a lot of people are starting to try to, they reach up to touch their screen and then they remember, oh no, that's right, it doesn't work like that. Because
a lot of young people who grew up with iPhones and iPads, they just expect every screen to be a touchscreen, even televisions. I don't know what they expect to happen when they touch a television, but they want something to happen.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. But of course, they've said they denied many. This is an old Steve Jobs trick too, isn't it? Denying that you're making something. Oh no, we're not going to make an MP3 player. No, we'd never even think about that. And then 2 months later, iPod. And then so Craig Federighi, I think he said several times something, and John Turnus, all the Apple executives, whenever asked about this, they said, oh no, yeah, we're not going to be doing this. Mm-hmm. And then like you said, it comes from Ming-Chi Kuo, so this is not some sketchy rumor that is easily dismissed. This is more than likely the case. So kind of the one thing I wonder though, do you think it'll be a detachable screen? So it'll be because a lot of the touchscreen ones now, you can take the screen off, can't you? So it clips into the keyboard, so it's actually a dual
like an iPad
purpose device. Yeah,
I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's maybe the most common. I know like Microsoft makes like their Surface laptop that can do that, and there's like a few ones. And the convertible ones that flip the screen around. I don't know if that's what Apple's terribly interested in, because it does come with a lot of design compromises, because then the screen has to be super thick, but then the bottom also has to be super thick, and because each of them have to have a battery in them. I don't know if that's Apple's style necessarily. It'll just be like a regular MacBook, but with a touch screen.
And of course, then if you did detach it, you'd have a Mac iPad. Right, which wouldn't make any sense.
Their solution is we already make that. It's called the iPad Pro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and the touch bar was kind of like a step in this direction, wasn't it?
That's what maybe when I was reading this story, that's what I started thinking about, is the touchpad. I missed that. Or what was it? Touch bar? Touch bar? I can't even remember now. Touch bar, right?
Touch bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jeez.
I've seen a lot of people actually waxing nostalgic about it too. You know, oh no, I miss a touch bar.
It was really cool. I mean, I almost never used the laptop as a laptop. But when I did, I was like, wow, the way that it changed, you know, kind of like the dynamic island, right? It changes depending on what app you're using or what you're doing. And I mean, that was a slick piece of hardware. I'm really kind of sick that Apple gave up on that so fast.
The kind of bizarre thing is that, you know, everybody liked it at first and they're like, yeah, you know, this is a great first step. I can't wait to see how they improve on it in the next one. And Apple just refused to improve it in any way whatsoever. And so naturally, like by the third year, people are like, yeah, why are we still doing this? You know?
Yeah, I think, you know, my memory of it is that it was universally hated. Mm-hmm. And that's why the nostalgia seems a bit strange now because, you know, where were you at the time? You know, no one spoke up in defense of it. It was all hate, and they must have seen that, I bet, reflected in the numbers of sales. You know, like I bet there probably were poor sales. That's probably what, you know, made the decision more than anything else, I would have thought.
It wasn't exactly a scientific test because they didn't change one variable. That was also the same time that they went all in on the butterfly keyboard and all in on USB-C 5 years before its time. So it just got, you know, thrown out with the bathwater. But I mean, I never lived with one. I had the 2015 MacBook Pro for arguably too long. But the one thing I was always jealous of the touch bars is that you could use the touch bar with the video player scrubber to skip through YouTube ads.
Oh, okay.
YouTube was never able to patch over that, so I think that's still available.
That's almost worth buying one just for that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I liked it because it was easy to choose an emoji. It was like I like the emoji picker on it.
Yeah,
and also the you know the adjustments like screen brightness and stuff like that. The those kind of utilitarian uses. Yeah, so this is crazy. You know this is probably many years too late, but better late than never. Looking forward to seeing that the new MacBook Pro.
There's another part of this rumor, isn't there?
The affordable MacBook, which is going to be coming early next year. Is that right?
Yeah, supposedly mass production in the fourth quarter of this year. So either, you know, late this year or early next year.
Yeah, so that won't be getting a touchscreen, even though it uses an iPhone chip, which is the iPhone system on SoC, the system on a chip. Presumably, it would be able to run a touchscreen, but it's not going to get a touchscreen. So pay up for the more expensive MacBook Pro to get this cool feature.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely going to be made out of like, you know, parts bin parts. It's not going to get the touchscreen before the MacBook Pro does. You know.
So do you think that this is going to be on all devices, or will it be an optional thing? Like, will every MacBook Pro have a touchscreen, or just, you know, the MacBook Pro Touch?
I mean, my understanding is that it's not a terribly expensive component to just add a capacitive layer on top.
Well, they're gonna have to change macOS, aren't they? I mean, there's going to have to be changes to it to make it touchscreen friendly.
I was wondering how I have not downloaded macOS 26. I don't know how much it moves in that direction.
I mean, yeah, things have gotten a lot bigger in macOS.
Bigger
Tahoe.
and easier to touch with a finger.
They wouldn't have to change as much as you think. If you stick with like the default screen resolution that the MacBook Pro ships with out of the box, the menu bar on the Mac is actually bigger than the menu bar on the iPad already. A few user interface elements are like that. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure like the traffic light buttons on the new, you know, most in macOS Tahoe that have gotten bigger and rounder. Those are big enough to tap with a finger. I think that's over Apple's like, you know, supposed 40-point limit for like the smallest touch target. A lot of things have gotten bigger in macOS, so you know they've already made those changes.
It's hiding in plain sight.
That's like the one big complaint I've seen from people using macOS 26. Like, oh, everything's too big. And I'm like, sounds like they're working toward a touchscreen.
Getting ready. I'm disappointed it's going to take like, oh my God, you know, like another 2 years, but it's an interesting change. And of course, yeah, typical Apple as well. Deny it until you do it.
And then talk about how it's the most amazing thing ever.
I know. How they invented it. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about everything new in iOS 26, including some hidden features. And Griffin is going to give us a tour of that. Let's check it out.
Sounds good. So I had a big article published over the weekend, earlier this week, basically collecting every single new iOS 26 feature I could find. So I'm not going to go over all of that now because it took me an hour to film the video.
It's only 70,
Already,
right?
I'm not going to do it again. But you can find that in the show notes. I'm going to call out some of the more hidden features in iOS 26. First of all, there are new icon styles on the home screen. When you're customizing your home screen, you tap the edit button on top. There's a new menu with more options there. Now you can actually edit the wallpaper right from the home screen, so that's handy. You can tap customize, and if you want, you can turn all of your icons clear. You can have a clear dark or a clear light style so that they're all, rendered in liquid glass.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Perfect.
And it affects your widgets as well. There's also a new tinted icon style. I think the tinted style was introduced last year, but it started from like the dark icons. Like the tinted icon style was based on the dark icons, and so it looked kind of ugly in my opinion. But now there's a new light tinted style, which works better with like pastel colors. If you want like, light pink or light red, or it is a little buggy. Like it doesn't update every icon immediately.
That's great. So that little iPhone icon that was down there, that you can change it so it matches the color of your iPhone case, right?
Yeah, if you have your phone in an Apple case, or you have the blue iPhone, from the customize menu, the same menu where you customize the color of your icons, there's a little case button. I currently don't have a case, so it just turns them clear. And I have a black iPhone, so it doesn't give me that option. But that's an option as well. There's also an eyedropper where you can like pick a color from your wallpaper.
Wow.
Like I want that exact light blue, and then it'll pick that for all your icons.
Crazy.
Cool. I like that look. You see that with Apple Watch quite a lot, don't you? People match the face to match their strap. So if you have a yellow strap, you have a yellow face, and I think that looks really good. That looks it's a really, really good look. So you can do that too with your phone. That's awesome. That's really cool. So they actually have a case button.
Yeah, I read about that and I was like, what? I thought I was reading some kind of nonsense, but it's actually true.
Yeah. Because that's the thing with Apple cases. They always sent like that little bit of information about the case to your phone, so that when you attach you put your phone in your silicone case, like the whole phone screen turns yellow for a second, and now they figured out a second use for that feature. The problem I have with the clear and tinted icons, I think they look cool on the home screen because I'm very familiar with my home screen. As soon as I go to the app library, it's like you're just seeing a whole screen of like nothing icons, and then all the legibility gets thrown out of the window. But I do think
is this because third-party developers need to update their apps in order to be compatible with this? Or?
No, it's because you're just looking at a whole screen and everything is the same color.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's hard to differentiate them.
That's how I tend to. Do you remember there used to be it was a popular thing, wasn't it? A few years ago, people would organize their home screens according to the color of the apps.
Yeah.
And at first, I thought that was a little bit odd, but then it made total sense to me because I think that's how I recognize apps. It's primarily by their color.
That's how I do it on my personal home screen. This home screen, if you're watching the video right now, is a home screen that I switched to just for the purpose of doing videos so that nothing personal reveals on my widgets. But I absolutely do that. I organize them by color. Like you'll notice on my dock, which is the same as my regular dock, that I have all blue icons down there. We have more new features. For example, in Messages, you can now create a poll between a group of people. And this, I think, is going to be super handy. It's from the plus menu on the side when you're choosing an attachment to a message, and then you can just type in multiple choices like what do you want to get for lunch? Burgers, spaghetti, pizza. It's a little limited on options. There's no like settings. For example, everybody always only gets one vote. A lot of times if you're trying to work out a group and you're trying to figure out like, what would be the best food that everybody would be interested in, you really want the ability to pick multiple options if you're okay with multiple things. Also, you can't lock down the options. So as soon as you send a poll, the other people can add their own options, which might not always be ideal depending on the situation, but it's better than nothing. It's handy having that feature built in. So you send a poll, it shows up as yellow like multiple choice. You just tap one, and there you go. You can vote. You can also
That's
send a
bit-
poll just to one specific person and not a group, I guess. You could use it just to present somebody with a few options of things.
That's going to be fun. I look forward to playing around with that.
You can also set message backgrounds. Apple sort of breezed over this in the keynote, but here's how it works. You just tap the person's name on the top, and then there's a backgrounds tab. Just like you can rename a group, or you can add an icon for a group, you can choose the background, and it's automatically set for everybody. They have a few built-in ones like water, or aurora, or sky, and they even have multiple options for that. So you can pick, clear sky, sunrise, dawn. I'm actually just
And it's
discovering that
all
myself.
animated. The clouds move.
Yeah. Or when you do the ocean one, like the water is animated, the aurora borealis are animated on the screen, and you have different colors you can choose. You can generate one with image playground for some reason. I don't know why you would.
Six-fingered sloth.
Yeah. Or you can choose a photo. It's kind of buried among the options. Like it just says photo, and it already shows a picture. So you might think, well, do I have to pick that photo? No. If you tap on it, it brings up the photo picker. So that's how that works. A big change is the toolbar in Safari got minimized again, shrunk down to just the bare essentials. And, when you scroll, it disappears, so you only see the address bar. But by default, you have the back button, the page menu, and then like the 3 dots menu. And I think a lot of people are confused by this design because they think, oh, it's 2 taps to get to my tab overview. I have to tap the 3 dot button and then tap all tabs. That's actually not true. Just like before, you can swipe up on the address bar to see your tab overview, or you can swipe left and right. Just like you're swiping left and right between apps, you can swipe left and right on the address bar to switch between your tabs, or you can swipe right again to create a new tab, stuff like that.
It takes a little bit of getting used to, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does take some getting used to, but if you don't want to get used to it, you can switch back to the old one. You go to the settings, you scroll at the bottom to tap on apps, then you scroll all the way down to tap on Safari, and then you scroll down again, and you can pick the bottom tab bar that was just like the one in iOS 18, where you have the full range of buttons and the address bar on the bottom, or you can pick the top tab bar, which is, how it was before. So you have the full range of buttons on the bottom and then the address bar on the top. So
I got to admit, I'm having a little bit of difficulty getting used to the compact one.
I actually kind of like it. It looks less cluttered. It kind of stays out of the way. I think when it has that effect where it's floating on top of the website, it looks kind of cool. But and all of the same features are there. Like you tap the 3 dots button and you tap bookmarks. You can get to your bookmarks and reading list, and you can share by actually tapping and holding on the address bar. You have quick actions where you can close and share or move it to a tab group.
Well, that's probably the biggest use cases for me is sharing stuff. When I go into the menu bar, that's probably the thing I do the most.
Yeah.
So you just click and hold on the address bar, and
you
brings
can
up
do
the
it all in
share.
one motion. You can tap and hold and then just swipe up your thumb, and then you can get to the share menu.
No, I same thing. I do that all the time, and I was kind of struggling with it, and the exact same example you're talking about, switching to other open tabs. So that's good to know that there's other ways to do that.
Mm-hmm. This actually does tie into another new hidden feature. If you can now share something to the Reminders app, and it'll work with Apple Intelligence to automatically generate suggestions of things you can add based on what you're looking at. So, for example, I had a recipe open in Safari. I tap share to Reminders, and then because I'm looking at a recipe, it automatically lists out all of the ingredients for that recipe.
Good God.
So I can add it to my store list, and I can just go down the list, add all of these things to my Reminders list.
What the?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Or, you're looking at a how-to article on Cult of Mac, need to remind yourself to do something. You can hit the share button, and I guess I can try this out. Hit the share button, share to Reminders app, and then it'll, pick out all of the,
It'll crash.
or it'll crash your iPhone.
There you go. That's more like it.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, it's a beta, everybody. No, it's not a beta. It's actually a released operating system. It's kind of hard to believe. But, yep. Maybe wait until 0.1.
But it would give you the steps of the how-to there.
Hypothetically, yeah, if you wanted to do that. But like the recipe thing, that's an excellent use case for it. One more that you can do in the Photos app, you want to look up an event. You look up I don't know, like a football game or a concert button at the bottom center, and you can see information about the photo you're looking at, or you can swipe up. So then you can see, this picture was taken at this particular football event.
That's kind of crazy.
Ohio in Peden Stadium.
Yeah.
Or a concert photo. Swipe up on that. And in this particular example, it's showing me the wrong concert event, I think because there were multiple music acts happening at the same time around the same street corner. And this picture that I took at an Alice Merton concert, I guess, is not as famous as the concert next door. But hypothetically, if I went to see Nothing More instead of Alice Merton, I could look up details of that event as well. I guess I'll do one more. In the Passwords app, if you accidentally overwrite a password and, oh no, I forgot what that password was. It asked me the security code and it overwrote the password. Now the password is just lost. Well, in the Passwords app, you can now view the history of a password. So you tap the View History button after you look it up, and you can see, it was changed 6 days ago. That's what it used to be, or, that's what it was before that. It's not showing it on the screen sharing because it wisely hides passwords when you're doing screen mirroring, which is what I'm doing here on the video version of the podcast. But you can see old versions of your passwords, which
That's
is
handy.
super handy.
Well, and where was that button? Oh, View History. I see it. Okay.
View History right under your password.
Yeah, definitely handy.
So that's one of the features you want to teach everybody. And if you want to see the full list, I've got it linked in the show notes.
Right. There's a lot of stuff, isn't there? This is a big update.
How are I presume some of the people around your life, family, friends, have maybe asked you about iOS 26? What do we think the general public reaction has been so far?
Well, to be honest, I haven't had one question about it from
really?
anyone in my family. No
Okay.
one. No one. A couple of people at work that asked about it, but yeah, and I said it was great. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I thought I liked that liquid glass. I like that. I like the new look. It's funny because when the beta first came out, there was a huge backlash. Oh my god, I hate it, and then it lasted for about a week. Everyone criticizing it's illegible. I can't see anything. Then about a week later, the tide changed, and everyone was starting to praise it. I like how much they liked it, and we're seeing the same cycle now with the general public. That we're seeing that we're in the hate phase. People are complaining about how much they can't see things, how everything's changed, and I'm sure in a week, like by next week, everyone's going to be loving it. So that was one funny thing I noticed.
If you look in the comments on my iOS 26 video, like there's a lot of comments like, this update is so ugly, I hate it. The spacing is freaking awful. Everything Android has had over a decade. Glass thing sucks. After such hype, so disappointed. The whole looks just ugly. The glass stuff is everywhere and it's just ugly. Like,
right.
It does have a kind of an unfinished feel to it. I mean, there's things that I'm scrolling through and I'm like, geez, I waited out the beta. I never, because I don't want to compromise my, most precious tool in my life, my iPhone. I waited till it was, ready for public consumption. I think it's not quite all polished up. Some of the ways that the glass stuff looks, like we end up seeing like 2-3 layers of text, and it just, I find that really just kind of ugly looking. I don't know.
Yeah. Are you going to turn it off?
I know I'm going to keep using it for a while. Just like the Safari stuff. I find that Safari seems like the biggest change to me. That seems like, whoa, how does this work now? And I'm so used to doing those things every single day and now it works in a different way. So I find that jarring. But I'm sure I'll get used to it. And it doesn't seem like it's terrible anyway. So. But I swear
there's a lot of animation glitches. Like some things just like refuse to animate and they just suddenly flash from like light to dark, or suddenly the fun little like crossfade at the bottom will just appear with no animation whatsoever. And it's especially bad on the Mac in some of those like Catalyst apps, like podcasts. There are so many bugs in the podcast app on Tahoe.
I like the way like the little fast forward and rewind arrows in the podcast app animate now. I mean, there's stuff in there that looks really cool, but it just kind of seems like it's not quite polished up. and ready for release. I can't get used to that new camera icon. Every time I see it, I think of Hal from 2001.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was searching, where did my camera go? Where did my camera go? Oh, there it is.
A few bugs as well. Like on the, I had a pretty popular post on Mastodon earlier this week because like I was having a phone call and the contact picture I had for the person I was calling was a picture of them like wearing like a light jean jacket, and it was outdoors and it was slightly overexposed. So the bottom half of the picture was really bright and white, and it didn't change the phone controls to black. So half of the buttons are just completely illegible. Like I know the mute button is on the right, the FaceTime button is in the middle, but you couldn't see it at all. The icons were just completely blended in with the background.
And it's a good thing we don't have Graham on the show, because he would be completely ranting about the accessibility issues that this brings up, which is a good point, really, isn't it? I mean, this is probably one of the most substantial criticisms about it. You know, apart from people saying their aesthetic, you know, I don't like it because of this, that, or the other, because of the way it looks. But, you know, for usability, there are likely a whole host of issues. Although, actually, I haven't seen that many complaints. Have you?
Yeah. A lot of people are complaining. It is a big step back in accessibility for that reason. And yeah, you can go to settings, accessibility, display, reduce transparency, and that replaces all the glass effect across the whole system with like the frosted, blurry effect that was in it before. But, you know, it's a setting that more people are going to have to be familiar with, I suppose.
Yeah, right. If you want to turn it off, we have a post about that, don't we, on the site, about how you can turn off liquid glass. So if you don't like it, it is actually quite easy to turn it off.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to iPadOS 26, which is probably the biggest UI revamp since 2010 for the iPad. It's a huge change. And of course, the big marquee feature is it now has windowed apps. So just like on a Mac, you can, instead of it taking over full screen or Apple's weird kludges, split screen, stuff like that, you can put the window wherever you like. And have multiple apps running in different windows, and you can layer them all up and make a complete mess out of your home screen.
It's a more complicated system that's just built out of the very simple rules of drag the bottom corner of a window to resize it and press the, you know, traffic button controls to minimize or close or make them bigger.
Yeah. And that's one thing that, you know, I've been using it. And to be honest, I've been mostly using full screen apps. I don't use my iPad for work, so I'm usually, you know, reading, looking at stuff on the web, doom scrolling, watching Netflix. Mm-hmm. So there's only been a couple of occasions when I've actually had to try and pull up different windows, and it was very easy, very intuitive, easy to line. Like I never did like split screen, and it was always, I could never really get, you know, it was such a kludge. I could never really, you know, get it to work nicely. But anyway, so this one is much easier to use, and a couple of times I've had a couple of apps up, you know, I'm cut and pasting from one to the other, work very well. The one thing I do find sometimes is that when in Safari, I try to hit the back button, and instead of going back, it resizes the window. It's like on, you know, it moves the window around. So I find that a little bit jarring sometimes, but it's easily, you know, it's super easy to fix. Double tap the window again, or tap the window again, and it pops right back to where you want it. So it's, yeah, you know, windowed apps. I mean, people have been wanting this forever, and finally they got it, and I've seen nothing but praise for it, nothing but, you know, love. People love this, especially like Ed Hardy, who's one of the Cult of Mac writers. He's a Mr. iPad. He's been using an iPad Pro as his main machine for years and years, and he's totally in love with this. He absolutely delighted, over the moon with it. So it's a very cool change. Another one is they have a menu bar now. So just like on a Mac, you know, in an app, there's a menu bar at the top. They'll bring up a whole bunch of different controls. Got to say, haven't used it once. But again, something that I'm sure Ed would love. The new Files app. This is another big change, that it brings another more Mac-like feature to the iPad, which is, you know, getting to it brings file management finally to the iPad, and it's the same as on the iPhone, right, Griffin?
Yeah, and this is like the Files app has long been like just a more limited version of the Finder. I mean, but now a bunch of the Pro features have come back to it, like open with for files. It no longer just tries to intuit what the app is that you want to open a file in. Like if you ever both have an emulator on your phone and also like the popular Delta emulator, but also write, plain text files in Markdown. I don't remember what console it is, but there's a particular video game console that uses a .md file extension that's also shared with Markdown files, .md for Markdown. So it would keep telling me, oh yeah, do you want to edit this text file in Delta for the Nintendo DS? No, I don't.
Okay.
But now you can open with, so you can say, oh yeah, open this text file in Runestone, open this ROM file in Delta. So that's a huge plus. It now has the rename multiple files feature that was on the Mac previously. So you can do that. If you're in the column browser, you can resize each column. It's not just a fixed width anymore. If you're in the list view, it has like the little disclosure arrows where you can tap to expand a subfolder without, tapping in and going into a separate view. So big upgrade to the Files app.
Yeah. Much more Mac-like as well. So if you're familiar with the Mac, it's going to look pretty good. And the preview app as well. The preview app has been brought to the Mac. Now that is the one. The preview app is probably one of the most used apps I use on my Mac. Use it every single day, doing all the stuff in the newsletter, comments and stuff like that. Adding signatures, so that's definitely a welcome addition as well to the iPad. It's great for adding signatures to PDFs and stuff like that. Super easy.
Great for having just like a built-in PDF reader or editor. You no longer do you have to like figure out Adobe Acrobat or whatever the hell other PDF scummy app you can find on the App Store. You can just you just open the preview app and drag two files in and merge them into one document, or mark it up and have somebody sign a document with a pencil. Like super handy.
And I like the new look of the iPadOS as well. I actually got really excited. I think it looks really good on the big screen, the liquid glass. I think it looks better than it does on the iPhone, and I like it. I like it a lot on the iPad. I almost get a little kick out of it when the stupid numbers come up and I got to type in my code or whatever. It looks very handsome, and the new home screen as well. The home screen improvements. Like I actually fiddled around with that, and I put a really big clock on it, and it's occluded by the picture I have on my wallpaper. It's a good looking update, and mine's running on an old 2018 iPad Pro, which it runs it super snappy. I haven't had any performance issues at all. Of course, I'm like I said, I'm using it just to browse the web and lightweight stuff. I'm not doing anything heavy, but for I think that's a use case for a lot of people, and it's been absolutely fine. It's been really good.
I think that 2018 iPad Pro has got to be one of the greatest of all time iPads, if not one of the greatest of all time Apple products, because it came out of the gate with a brand new design that's stuck through the whole iPad lineup for years, and it's had just incredible longevity with it too. So
I've seen people say that. Yeah, it's definitely as well Hall of Famer. It's up there with the iMac and everything like that.
I don't know if I'd say up there with the iMac, which just literally saved the company from bankruptcy, but it's a good one. I'll give it that.
All right, it's a little further down the list, but it's up there. It's up there for sure.
I'm excited to review the next iPad Air that they come out with to try all these things out for myself.
Right, totally, yeah. Oh, the iPad lineup is gorgeous now. Even the entry-level iPad, that's incredible value, I thought. The iPad lineup, wonderful. I haven't actually, have you seen the new iPad Pros as well, the super thin ones?
I played with them in stores, but not much more than that. But it is gorgeous. Pretty insane how thin they are.
Right, I know, madness. Like, the Air before the Air. Also is, big revamp in watchOS 26 too, and I've got it running and like it very much. We also looked at this, didn't we? We did a big post about all the new watchOS 26 features. And again, Griffin is going to give us a quick tour of some of the new stuff. Let's have a look.
Yeah, so we've got a Workout Buddy, the new little live coach that talks you through as you're doing a workout. When you first do a workout after updating to watchOS 26, it's kind of like blink and you miss it. Like the setting only appears there once, and it says, "Oh, would you like to enable Workout Buddy?" And I accidentally tapped the wrong button. But it's easy to.
I think I had the same problem. Yeah,
it's pretty easy to re-enable it though. If you then open the Workout app and you're scrolling through your list of workouts, I think you have to wait a second for all of the buttons to appear. But then it's the button on the bottom right. We actually just discovered this immediately before we went live on the show. You tap that bell icon. It looks like a bell for some reason. And then you can enable Workout Buddy again. And as I mentioned before, I mostly use workouts on the watch when I'm mowing my lawn, which I do as an outdoor walk It's the closest approximation to doing a push mower, I guess, even though I'm walking at like 2 miles per hour.
Did Workout Buddy say you got time to step it up, buddy?
Well, it's interesting what it tries to tell, like the stats that it tells you to encourage you when you're doing a really not very impressive workout. You start off and it says, all right, time to go. This is your first workout this week. It'll be my only workout this week. But it tries to say, yeah, keep it up. You're going to close your rings, whatever. And then when you hit your first mile marker, it's actually a setting where you can choose like the split or like the stats or how often you want it to chime in. But by default, it'll chime in every mile you hit. And the first time you hit the mile marker, it'll like give you all of these cheery stats like, oh yeah, you did hit that mile in 28 minutes. You burned not very many calories, like 150 calories.
Right.
And those are the obvious ones. But then it like keeps going. It's like, and you know, you've just done your 500th workout hour this year, or you've just done this, or you've just done that. And it goes for quite a while. Like sometimes it'll have like 20, 30 seconds of like just cheerily reading off stats to you.
Sounds annoying as can be.
Yeah. How did you feel about it? Was it annoying or was it motivating?
I mean, when I'm mowing my lawn, like I don't really need motivation. Like I have to finish the whole thing. I'm not going to give up halfway, and I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, got to do it. Let's finish. Let's mow this grass. Like it's getting done at the speed I'm going to do it, regardless of what it tells me or not. But I don't know. Maybe I should go for a run with it, and maybe I'll have a different tune. But after the first one, it then starts to like interrupt you a little shorter. It'll be like, oh yeah, you just completed your next mile. This was your time. Come on, go for it. And then, you know, third time it'll be like, it'll say the end is in sight. And it's like, well, I'm only halfway done with the lawn. Like I've still got to wait. You don't know how long I'm going to go, but it'll, you know, tell you when you close your rings. It does smartly like interrupt your music and then, you know, resume it after it's done talking to you. But there's like a little like few second delay between it stops your music and then for just long enough for you to think, oh, did one of my earbuds come out and do I need to push it back in? Like for just long enough before it starts talking to you to think that maybe something's gone wrong. But yeah, it catches you every time.
Yeah. Well,
it's an interesting feature. I can see how it might work for some people, but
I was really interested to try it out, and I've been riding my bike, you know, like every week, and like you, I think I must have dismissed it, and I went looking for it, and I was like, how do you turn on workout button? I couldn't find it anywhere. So it's actually good to know that, you know, like you said, when you first go into a workout, wait a minute, and then 4 buttons appear in each corner, and it's the bottom right corner to re-enable it again. So I've re-enabled it. I'm looking forward to using it. I need some encouragement when I'm racing my bike through the streets of San Francisco.
I'm curious if it'll work on you or if it'll just infuriate you greatly.
Yeah, me too, because I'm not much of that. You know, like I'm really curious to see it too. I'm really want to try it out. I'm going to try it out this weekend. Oh, actually, this weekend I'm going to be reviewing the new iPhone, so no bike ride for me. But next week I'll try it out. I'll go on a long ride up to Marin and see what it says.
Well, I've got I mean, all of this is, you know, framed around how I can make this part of my work. I've got to test the heart rate thing on the new AirPods, so I'll be. But it's also not time for me to mow my lawn, so I'll probably be going for a jog or something. I don't know. It was the shortest possible jog.
Good luck.
I haven't tested this new feature because it's exclusive to the newer Apple Watches, but there's the new gesture called wrist flick. So how you used to have to, like, you know, turn your wrist towards you to show the time, you can do the opposite of that. Flick your watch away from you to dismiss a notification. And I think that's available on the Series 9 and newer and Ultra 2 and newer. Have either of you used this feature?
I didn't even know about it.
Oh,
I have not tried it. I just now did it, and it's like I don't have a notification, so
I can shoot you a text.
yeah, sure.
Have you ever used that wrist, any, you know, the finger stuff, Lewis?
The double tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, once in a while, doing dishes or something, you need to tap something. Yeah, it's no. I don't find that to be. I still find it hilarious that was at one point a. You know, like a marquee feature. Wow, this is the brand new feature, tapping in the air. Great.
Yeah, notification silence, so I notified you anyway.
I got the notification and yeah, went right away. That's
nice.
fine. I mean, sure. Actually seems it's actually kind of appropriate, right? It's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's flick it away.
It's kind of like how they say that like Scott Forstall came up with Shake to Undo for the original iPhone. He's like, well, if you accidentally do something and you just like shake your phone out of anger, then it'll give you the option to undo it.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah, I think so. That was how they came up with it.
Yeah, that's a great feature. That's one hidden feature that I've used over the years many times. Many times.
Now there's a new gesture for it where I think you can swipe with 3 fingers, left or right, and it usually interferes with like the interface of the app you're using, but it'll also show you an undo button. So,
okay, cool, good one to know.
That's not a new feature. That's just let's see. There's also the Notes app on the Apple Watch, which is, I mean, my strongest use case for opening the Notes is usually writing something down in a table, and Notes on the Apple Watch doesn't support tables, but it does support like basic list views and text and stuff like that. So you can do that. If I know some people who keep their shopping list in Notes rather than reminders, so this could be handy for them.
Yeah. I use the Notes app quite a lot. It has a whole bunch of use cases. It's really good for like digital hoarding.
Yeah.
Storing stuff away, but the search works pretty good. So you can find this stuff again if you kind of remember what keywords you were using. I've got hundreds and hundreds of notes. It's a great app though. I think it's very very useful. I keep all kinds of stuff in there, reminders. I've even used it, to-do list stuff like that, and it's really full featured now. My God, it does so many things.
So it doesn't support tables. It also doesn't support drawings, but I think you can. Obviously you're not going to like doodle on your wrist, but you can look at them if a note happens to have an included drawing from your iPad or iPhone. But pretty handy there. And there's all the for more hidden features in watchOS 26, you can look at the full article.
All right. Actually, I wasn't talking about notes on my watch. I've never actually once looked at it on my watch.
Okay.
I was like, for some reason, I thought we were talking about the iPhone. I completely forgotten. In fact, I didn't even know you had notes on the watch.
That's what we're saying. It's just got added.
Yeah.
It's just brand new. But it seems like if you use the Notes app, it seems perfect to have it on your wrist, right? Because if you're out doing something, you don't have your phone with you, which almost never happens. But nice to be able to add a note. Sure.
Or you're on the phone talking to somebody, and you can just like jot down a phone number or an email just on your wrist. Which is slower and more complicated than just doing it on your phone, but now you can.
Yeah, with the horrible keyboard. Goodness me. Yeah, well, cool. You're right. Here they all are, 1,600 notes.
Wow.
All right, so I'd like to thank our other sponsor for this week, which is Squarespace. Squarespace is a great way to build a personalized website. It has all sorts of tools to make it super easy, including a guided design system called Squarespace Blueprint. You can choose from professionally curated layouts and styling options. You can tailor it to your brand or business, and it's optimized for every device. You can easily launch your website and get discovered fast with integrated, optimized SEO tools, absolutely essential. So you show up more often to more people and grow the way you want. Squarespace is great for taking payments. It has a really good payment system. So if you have any kind of digital products, you can offer very, very flexible payments to your customers. Make it seamless to check out. They accept credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, and in eligible countries, you can offer customers to the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. This is a great way to sell content, any kind of exclusive content. You can set up a paywall, sell memberships, courses. You can sell files, customers to download PDFs, music, or ebooks. Go to save some money, go to squarespace.com/cultcast for 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain with code CultCast at checkout. So again, that's squarespace.com/cultcast, and you can get 10% off with your first purchase. All right, thanks again, Squarespace, for sponsoring us. Let's go back to Griffin again. Griffin's got a how-to. This is how to fix app updates in macOS Tahoe. So if you have a problem with app updates, here's how to fix it.
macOS Tahoe came out earlier this week, and people started to notice something broken in the Mac App Store. And once it was pointed out to me on Mastodon, I realized, oh yeah, this is broken for me too. App Store updates just don't appear in macOS Tahoe for me. I haven't updated any of my apps since I installed the beta months ago. So for some reason, you try to refresh, you try to sign out and sign back in again. The Mac App Store won't give you any updates. I don't know why this happened. I don't know how Apple didn't catch this, but there is a solution if you want to update to the new macOS Tahoe versions of all your favorite apps, there's a third-party app, a utility that somebody makes called Latest. This reads through all the apps on your Mac and just gives you an integrated way to update them. You can just hit a button there. I don't know how it works exactly, but it does work pretty well. It's like free and open source. You can trust the code. A lot of people use this. Like this was the recommended way that I saw people talking about. So you can find this at just max.codes/latest. At that URL, you can download it for free. It's fully notarized and everything. And I'll give a quick demo here. You open it. It's pretty quick. It'll show you all the available app updates on your Mac. So, MyMstream, the email client, you click on it. You can see the release notes that are probably pulled from the App Store or wherever it comes from, and then hit update. It'll update it. Noir, this is a Safari extension, hit update. And when I first ran this after, doing the proper final update to the released version of macOS Tahoe, this was just packed with all these apps that had, been sending out updates all summer that I never received. So, Croissant,
Wow.
this definitely came from the Mac App Store. You tap update, it'll do it there. There's a refresh button in the upper right where you can check for new ones. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but it works really well. So if the Mac App Store is broken on your Mac, you should probably check it after you update to Tahoe. And then, honestly, my recommendation is don't update to Tahoe yet. But if you do, and you find that you're not getting app updates anymore, check out this as an alternative.
Well, that was one of the things we noticed this week was that a lot of people, rushed like headless, chickens to download iOS 26, but then update the Mac. No, wait a second, no way. No one's jumping in. They're all waiting for 26.1 to update. Let's make sure that all the bugs are ironed out. And of course, that's a good point, really. I think, although, because a lot of people are saying, that obviously they use their Macs for work, and this is too risky to mess up their workflow. So they're going to wait for the first big update of macOS. When's that going to be? Do you think? When have they done it in the past? How long has it taken?
Usually, 0.1 comes out in October, November, and then 0.2 is the big one, and that comes out in December. And then I think around 0.3, that's when they start to include the new emojis, and that's when they start forcing people to update rather than allowing it as a thing you can manually choose in settings. 0.3 is usually the really stable one. And honestly, if you're okay running, if you're not excited to be wowed away by Liquid Glass on the Mac, which it isn't really that impressive anyways, I would wait on the Mac.
I don't know about that. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was totally delighted with mine when I first downloaded it. Whoa, this looks awesome. Welcome to the future. I couldn't wait to dive in, and then of course nothing worked. So I haven't been able to use it.
It's very clear that Apple was playing emergency last minute cleanup on iOS. The Mac still has a lot of bugs in it that have been present there all summer. So
and they haven't cleaned them up yet. Mm-hmm. How many tickets did you file?
I gave up on filing tickets. I did a few at the beginning, but the feedback system is so broken that I didn't have the patience for it beyond the first few weeks.
Too bad. I found a bug on the workout app on the Apple Watch, actually, when you do when you launch a workout. For me, when I select outdoor cycle, it doesn't have the start button. I have to scroll down and then back up, scroll down, then back up again for it to show up the controls. And I was actually tempted to file that. I was thinking about you when I was thinking about it, but then I went out for a ride and I completely forgot. So
that's fair. Yeah.
I never
should have made a note.
I know now. I will. I definitely will. Let's move on to our question from our reader, which comes from a viewer, Helm, Helm, and it came in the Discord channel. So Helm says, I've been running the beta. It's looking and performing great. System's a lot quicker.
Which beta are you running?
Yeah, right. But he's asking, can someone for the love of me give me a reason to upgrade this year? And he's talking about upgrading his phone. So I'm running an iPhone 14 Pro, and this is year 3 for me, which is unprecedented. But it's still super fast. So Helm wants to know, why should he? What's a good reason for him to upgrade his phone, the iPhone 14 this year?
Orange. Apple Intelligence.
That's right. Yeah, but the Apple Intelligence stuff, it's getting there's a lot of really, really useful use cases for it, I think, out there. Like I don't use
Are
the
there?
image playground or the Genmoji, I don't know, maybe. I think the reason to upgrade is for the cameras. It seems like the cameras, the bigger sensors on the Pros across the line now, 48 megapixel sensors on all three of the main cameras, is a good reason to upgrade. I mean, the new the zoom photos, is it telephoto?
Telephoto, yeah.
Oh my God!
Telephoto if you're English.
Yeah, right. The new telephoto, the telephoto. They look great. They look way better. I've seen some comparisons to the iPhone 16 Pro, which has a smaller 12 megapixel sensor, and it's a massive difference from what I've seen. From the samples I've seen, they look great. They look really fabulous, and that I think is a good reason to update.
My advice is, if it's already super fast, just don't. You can just not, and you can save like $1,300. Just don't upgrade. And
Yeah.
going into iPhone review season, I've been pulling out all my old iPhones from my box, and I was going through them, and like my iPhone 7 Plus is still like zippy fast. It's on an old version of iOS, but you know what? There's really no reason I had to update from the 7 Plus to the 12 Pro. There's no reason I had to update the 12 Pro to the 16 Pro. Like, it was still perfectly serviceable and fine at the time that I upgraded last year. And, just don't update. Put that $1,000 somewhere else.
Yeah, good point. Good point. I mean, if speed and utility is your your metrics, then yeah, why not stick with it? I mean, that phone's going to last for. In fact, the people were saying this week that the iPhone 6 and 6S got security updates this week, didn't they? From 18.6, and these are 10-year-old phones. Android, I think, supports.
Well, to clarify, they don't run iOS 18, but Apple does release security updates like as far back as like 17, 16, and 15, and I think they released a security update for iOS 15.
Yeah, but 10 years. The point I was trying to make was that they're
Yeah.
still supporting 10-year-old phones with security updates, which is that's good practice from Apple. I mean, that's great. That's fantastic. They're keeping these things around 10-year-old devices, and they're still making sure they're getting security updates. I mean, that is really good. I think fabulous customer service. So your iPhone 14, I mean, maybe you can upgrade in 2033 or whenever it is.
Jeez.
I'm upgrading. I'm looking forward to getting mine tomorrow. I'm super excited about it. Actually, probably more excited about it than any other phone in recent memory. I think these things look awesome. In fact, I kind of I want every one in the lineup. I'm disappointed I can only buy one iPhone. I'm really tempted by all of them, all the way up and down the line. They look awesome.
Which one did you buy again?
The Pro, just the regular Pro.
What color?
I can't remember.
Deep blue.
No, actually, I think I went for silver. I was really tempted by the deep blue. I think that looks gorgeous, but I went for the silver instead.
And if people are choosing to upgrade this year, what's a great way they can? What's a great way to do that?
Yeah, if you do want to upgrade, I mean, the Cult of Mac runs a really good buyback program in partnership with a company called My Phones Unlimited, and we buy back all of your old Apple gear, including AirPods, which Apple won't take. Apple won't take it. They won't even take a trade-in on AirPods. They won't accept them at all. So if you're looking at the new AirPods Pro 3. And you have an old pair of AirPods lying around, we'll buy them, and we buy almost any pair of AirPods if they're working. So this is a good way to get cash too. Like a lot of people who do take AirPods will give you a credit, but if you want cash, we pay cash for AirPods. It's a great system too. It's what you do is you go on the website. If you go to cultofmac.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, click on the icons at the bottom there, and submit the details. You'll get a quote, the price that we'll pay for your AirPods, and a couple of days later you'll get a box which is prepaid with some bubble wrap, so you can put your old AirPods into the box and just pop it back in the mail. It's super, super easy. It's all prepaid. It's all done for you. You don't have to go to Office Depot or go hunt up an envelope or anything like that. And then after it's received, we take a look at it, see that it's in the condition that it's described, and then you'll get a check, an old-fashioned check if you like, in the mail, or an ACH bank transfer, so you get paid electronically, and it's super fast, super easy, very, very, very convenient. You don't have to really do anything except submit some details on the website and then put your old AirPods into a box and get your money for it. And again, we do we buy back all kinds of stuff, all our Apple gear, everything from Apple Pencils, Magic Keyboards, iPads, Macs, MacBooks. There's all kinds of Apple gear we buy back, and it's a really good service, really convenient, really easy to use. And again, if you want to take advantage of that, go check it out on the Cult of Mac website and scroll to the bottom of the page and look at our buyback subsite.
You don't even have to scroll to the bottom of the page. It's right up there in the header.
You're right. I forgot about
even
that. Even
faster.
You can look it up in the menu at the very top of the website. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a good service. I think we actually do a good job with the buyback stuff. So I think that's it. That's all the CultCast we have for you this week. Hypus. Yeah, please hype us.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit the hype button. Hype us up.
Please do that. Yeah. That'll allow other people to discover this magnificent podcast that we put out every week. Anyway, if you want to carry on the fun, Lewis is on Twitter at Lewis Wallace, Griff is on Mastodon and Blue Sky at D Griffin Jones, and I write the Cult of Mac newsletter today every day. And to get that, you go to newsletters.cultofmac.com and sign up. That's a really good newsletter as well.
The price is right for sure.
It's free and it's a great newsletter. We do a really good job with it. It's probably this one I can say for sure is the best Apple newsletter you're ever going to subscribe to. So I encourage you to do that. Send us a text on the show notes or on YouTube. Ask us some comments. We'd love to answer your questions.
Send us new iPhone questions. We're getting the new iPhones next week on the show. So
right, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if there's anything you want to know about the new iPhones, yeah, we'll be able to answer them. And between us, we're going to be reviewing, I think, the whole entire iPhone lineup and almost all the new products I think that Apple's putting out this week. So watches, AirPods, the lot. So if you do have questions about the new products, yeah, please do. Please ask away. So that's been the CultCast, the best-ish hour-long Apple show conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes come out every Thursday night. I'd like to thank you, everybody, for listening, watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Goodbye.
See ya. God. So, Leander, are you going into the Apple store tomorrow to pick up your phone?
I thought it was next week for some reason, and I thought,
it's freaking tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I looked at the calendar this morning. And I was like, oh my God, are you joking? This is like this weekend, not